and we belong together. Yes, we belong together for eternity. Eternity. You're my baby, and you'll always be. I swear by everything I hold, you'll always, always be mine. You're mine, and we belong together. Yes, we belong together for eternity. Eternity.
Hi everybody, my name is Victoria. Today I'm here to tell the community about my husband's dreadful story. Before I begin, I'd like to personally thank everybody for taking time out of their day to watch this video. It means a lot. My husband, Alexander Bravo, is the young age of 19, currently a father of 2, and is now being faced with a murder trial in a Los Angeles County court. Early evening, December 19th, 2016. After trying to complete what was a kind act, the situation quickly turned catastrophic. Now let me ask you, is a poor judgment call really worth life in prison? However, Alexander has had a run into the law before. Growing up in poverty, Alexander was tempted to steal a gaming console at the age of 13. Going to jail for grand theft was a scary thought for a child. So Alexander went on the run. Meeting and falling in love at the young age of 15, Alexander soon became a father. So he did the right thing and turned himself in. My husband was then bounced around the foster care system and different juvenile detention centers for an additional 3 years, hardly ever getting to see his oldest child. Finally being released at age 18 from a juvenile camp in March 2016, Alex was free to return to his only family, myself and our oldest daughter, Ellie, just in time for the newest arrival, Rosalind. Searching for a better life for our young family, we decided to relocate to a new city. Alexander was then accelerated released from probation, just 5 months after his release, from what turned collectively into a 4-year conviction. Now 19 and almost finished with high school despite his learning disabilities, none of us would have predicted this disastrous circumstance. Now I'm going to tell you the reason why an innocent man is going to jail. Living with a low income, we're barely able to pay rent for one room in a 9-bedroom shared housing arrangement. What was thought no more than an innocent acquaintance with a roomie turned into this appalling story of how an innocent elderly man was murdered. just one day before anticipantly waiting to meet what would be his father-in-law for the first time, was sadly cut short just by entering our roommate's doorway. He accidentally stepped on this man's bong, and so my guilt-struck husband left our home to go buy him a new one, followed by our roommate's friend, whose name is still unknown because we just met him that day. The two entered our local smoke shop. While viewing what was no more than a $20 bong, our roommate's mysterious friend came up behind my husband, took the bong from the counter, and then continued to repeatedly hit the store owner with brass knuckles on. The owner of the shop was a 65-year-old man, and in the event while he was being hit, he stumbled back and hit his head on the concrete. Struck by shock, my husband wasn't sure what to do based on this man's appalling decision to rob the store. He didn't have a phone at the time to call for help, and he kind of just stayed in the doorway of the shop, not knowing what to do. The man then decided to flee the scene, and my husband, still in shock from watching what this man did to this shop owner, decided to go running after the other guy. Upon leaving the shop, a couple of grown bystanders decided to attack my husband, thinking that he was taking part in the actual robbery. The police drove by and seen what was happening. My husband was arrested on site. Now he is being charged with the other man's. The old man was then taken to the hospital and pronounced dead a few days later. My husband is now being charged for the murder that another man committed. This is unfair, and unfair to my family, and unfair to my husband. So now I am asking the community for their help with raising at least $5,000 for a down payment on good representation for my husband. And if you can't donate today, even 10 cents or $10, a simple share on your guys' social media site would be very appreciated. Share with your friends and family, even strangers, anybody. The more this video goes viral, the more chance my husband will have of getting released, because he is not guilty. He's the victim here. The Los Angeles County Police are trying to send my husband to jail, a 19-year-old boy, for a minimum of 25 years and a maximum of a life sentence, without the guarantee to be released on parole for something he hasn't done, simply because they cannot find the man who did it, and we don't know who he is to give them the information. Please help us. Please help this video reach everybody in the United States, in the world even. Alexander Bravo does not deserve to be in a penitentiary right now with a bail of $2,050,000, and all an attorney wants is $10,000 total to be a good representation of him in court. And unfortunately, my family can't afford it. We've all talked about selling everything we own and doing everything we can unfortunately, between me and my mom, who is my only family right now, we don't have much. In fact, we're facing the thought of even being homeless. Again, thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really means a lot. God bless.